It's almost summertime here at Hempfield, and as the school year comes to a close, we still have stories to tell. This month, we're featuring a local MMA fight that was held here in Lancaster, a young man who was on a national television show, and the award received by our school's library. For this and much more, I'm your host, Jack Harrison, and you're watching Hempfield Happenings.
All throughout the schools at Hempfield, Aevideum Club has been spreading the message of positivity and the theme of I've Got Your Back.
Aevideum Week is an opportunity to celebrate the main core concepts of Aevideum. So we're focusing on things like accepting others, appreciating others, acknowledging one another. So we're encouraging those students in all the schools that are involved, so that includes LMS, LIC, LPC, and Farmdale, to all really celebrate those core concepts.
Titusville Middle School student Catherine Molitor explains what Aevideum is to her and how students in Aevideum Club help the community.
I have a couple friends who are in Aevideum, and they just do different things. So, I know they went to the elementary schools and talked to the little kids about having someone's back and being there for them. It's basically just a program that gets people to be nice and have a friend.
Dr. Erin Burke explains who she thinks Aevideum Week affects and why.
I really feel like it has the potential to help all students in all of those buildings and beyond, because I think it opens up opportunities to have discussions about what Aevideum means to each and every one of us, and that could be different for each person. So I think it really has the potential to help everyone and hopefully build some better relationships, challenge us to think about how we treat others around us. So I hope that it has some far-reaching impacts.
No matter the age or the school that a child goes to, someone will always have their back. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Taylor Hess.
Bailey Titter reported on the mock crash held here at Hempfield that demonstrated to the senior class the ramifications of driving while under the influence.
We're sending EMS and unfile because please call back with any additional information.
Days before prom, administrators at Hempfield wanted to demonstrate to students how their decisions while driving can affect their lives and the lives of others.
Probably about 2 years ago, we have what's called a parent advisory council at the high school. So we have a number of parents of students at the high school that come and meet with the principals probably about every 6 to 8 weeks. And there was a concern that we have had a number of students involved in accidents, whether they were caused by distracted driving or maybe a drunk driver here and there.
Alright, they're going to look, see who's injured. They're going to be reporting about those injuries to the medical personnel who are now being dispatched to respond.
The Parent Advisory Council decided to perform a mock crash for the Hempfield seniors to accurately portray the effects of driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Hempfield senior Brittany Muma was an actor in the crash.
We had it set up as two cars that hit each other in a head-on collision. I was behind the driver in the back seat, and I just sustained minor injuries. They told me to act really sad and scared and cry and stuff, and I tried my best, but it was difficult.
It still falls under the DUI law.
Although a major part, the crash was not the only piece of the demonstration.
We had two speakers come who had lost children, both lost a daughter in crashes. One was involved with 3 other students in the car. The other one was a girl who had gotten hit by a drunk driver who was on their 3rd DUI conviction. They came and spoke with our students after we were outside at the mock crash scene, talking about the decisions that were made before their children had died.
Part of the crash that people didn't really talk about in media coverage was the fact that afterwards we had a few speakers come in and talk about real crashes that occurred with their teenagers because of under the influence driving. I think that really moved a lot of people, and people were talking about that for a while after the crash. Not just what they saw, but what they heard.
A survey given by the administrators shows how the mock crash impacted the students.
Reading through the responses, a lot of the students said that it was very worthwhile. We got over 300 seniors to respond to our survey that we put out. The large majority, over 90% of the respondents, said it was worthwhile. They're glad they attended. A lot of the comments were very favorable. They enjoyed the speakers. One of the questions was, will this make you think twice about what you do before the prom? And again, over 90% responded that it did.
Plans have not been set in stone for next year, but administrators would like to continue this in the future. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Bailey Titter.
A Lancaster County resident recently competed in a national television show unlike any others.
Here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania lives Alex Apple, who recently won the MTV show Stranded with $1 Million.
We gave 10 strangers $1 million and stranded them alone on an island. Every comfort cost them their money, and the only way out is to quit or win it all. Out here, staying alive comes at a price.
Alex was one of thousands of applicants for the show. Shortly before filming began, he learned that he would be one of the 10 cast members.
When they told me that you only had 11 days and then you're leaving, so I was living in Vermont at the time. I immediately flew home, I think the next day, to Nashville, and then I flew up to Lancaster to spend a few days here with my girlfriend.
One notable moment in the show was when Alex decided to destroy some of the prize money in order to get revenge on another contestant.
What had happened is it's 2-on-2 at this point, and they had stolen this pot that we used to boil water and cook our food in. So they were trying to make us either starve or die of dehydration and get us off the island. With you is several $100,000 stashes of your prize money. And so what I did was grab all of that, put it in our shelter, and decided to sort of corner them with an option that you're not going to starve us out, you're not going to dehydrate us out, we're not going to be bullied out of the game, so here's your option. You can either buy us what amounted to about, I think, like $15,000, $20,000 worth of goods, or we'll rip $60,000 of the prize. It'd be like me coming up to you and saying, give me $2 or I'll take $6. Most people would probably say, okay, here's $2, but they didn't. And so, you know, when you sort of make that kind of threat in order to keep negotiating power in the game, I think you have to follow through with it. It let them know that we were serious about staying in this game, and lo and behold, we did make it to the end.
Afterward, Alex split the remaining prize money with the other contestants. They each received around $124,000. Some students at Hempfield High School share what they would do if they won the prize money.
I'd probably put it towards college and then probably donate some to charity.
I don't know, probably like just save it for college so I can go to college.
Probably get a nice car with it. Mostly, though, I'd save for college.
Go on vacation to Hawaii.
I continue to enjoy my job, and I'm going to use that money as sort of a financial foundation for my family and try to be savvy with it.
Innovative new shows like Stranded with $1 Million are an interesting experience for both the contestants and the viewers. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Dana Greener.
Some Hempfield wrestlers learned valuable lessons through watching an MMA fight held at Lanco Fieldhouse.
Last month, Lanco Fieldhouse hosted Art of War, a mixed martial arts cage fight that showcased professional and amateur fighters alike. Not only did spectators come to watch the event, some Hempfield wrestlers also left with major takeaways. John Tuxford, a fighter who's on his way to becoming a pro, understands the effort it takes to become successful.
I got into martial arts at age 5, but I had my first MMA fight when I was 20 years old. I'm 28 now. It takes a lot of dedication and preparation. Some Joe off the street who comes in here and tries to do what we do, he's going to get hurt really bad. This is a lifestyle. You know, you got to do the weight cut, you got to do the food, you got to show up for training, you got to put the time in, basically. So if you don't, it's going to show out there. You're going to get seriously hurt.
MMA fighting is not just a sport for fun. It also teaches many important life lessons.
Just taught me hard work, self-discipline, and taught me a lot of good techniques that helped me in life as well as martial arts.
Hempfield students attended the event and enjoyed different elements of the fights.
I love watching all the guys I train with fight, seeing their hard work and dedication pay off, and it's a great time.
Watching the other fighters fight is cool to watch them use their techniques and use that from like their jiu-jitsu and wrestling.
Not only did students watch the fights for entertainment, they also were able to relate what they saw into their wrestling and their lives.
Watching these fights transfers to me because I'm on the wrestling team, and it influenced me to work harder at wrestling and to be on the wrestling team and work hard and to reach further wrestling goals in the future.
It definitely works all into each other because if you're dedicated to work hard out in the wrestling room and in MMA fighting, you're going to work hard in the classroom to study and get these good grades so you can come out and do all these fights.
Every day you got to push yourself to make yourself better, so I'm just making myself better as a human.
The dedication and hard work necessary for MMA fighting is apparent and beneficial for participants and students to learn from. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Julia Gibbons.
Out of all the district libraries in Pennsylvania, Hempfield's came out on top. Devin Noonemaker followed up with the rest of the story.
Recently, all the schools in the Hempfield School District received an award celebrating their prestigious libraries. Dr. Kathy Furman, Hempfield School District's Library Services Department Supervisor, reveals her opinion on why Hempfield won the District Library of the Year Award presented by the Pennsylvania School Librarians Association.
Well, our school district was judged on 4 indicators by PSLA, the Pennsylvania School Librarians Association, and we submitted evidence back in June of 2016, and then they actually came out and did a site visit in October of 2016 and still looked at those 4 indicators. There's a very detailed rubric on what the award looks at and judges. And I believe that Hempfield was strong in every one of those indicators, both in empowering learning through leadership, building a vision for learning, and the role of the school library program in teaching and learning. And so we just have a very strong program K through 12 in all 4 of those indicators.
Hempfield High School junior Foster Pollen gives his perspective on why Hempfield was a qualified recipient of the award.
I believe that Hempfield High School won, well, not just Hempfield High School, but all the Hempfield libraries in general won this award due to the dedication that the librarians put into their work and the time and effort that they put into maintaining the library. And I see this through how hard the librarians work and how dedicated they are to fixing and making sure everyone is in line in the library. And you know, that shows a lot of commitment to their job.
Some of the things that the awards committee felt that we were extremely strong in, first of all, is our curriculum. We have a strong K-12 curriculum that's embedded into the regular content curriculum, and they saw evidence of that when they came to visit, as well as documentation that we sent. They also really felt that the way in which that we are embedded in all aspects of the school district, so it's not just the books and the resources and the research projects, but the fact that we collaborate with teachers on a regular basis, the fact that we're involved in many other aspects of the school community itself.
With the help of librarians throughout the district, Hempfield's libraries are sure to remain a valuable part of students' education. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Devin Noonemaker.
The Daith piercing is a migraine-reducing piercing that is growing in popularity, and there's a local shop that specializes in them.
Daith piercing is not a new procedure. However, it has risen in popularity thanks to a local shop here in Lancaster called Royal Pain.
The Daith piercing is in many cases a last resort option for those who struggle with migraines.
The recent study of the Daith piercing is that it connects with a pressure point in or around your head, so when pierced it's supposed to relieve tension. Kind of goes back to the days of like acupuncture where certain pressure points relieve certain stress areas.
The procedure has been rapidly rising in popularity, especially in Lancaster County.
It has become more popular ever since places like Lancaster Online have done articles on it, just getting it out there a little more broadly. But ever since those recent developments, you know, the scientific studies, different papers going after it and doing articles of it, it's definitely exploded into like this new trend, so to speak.
Though studies have been inconclusive, doctors are not discrediting the procedure.
Once you were sure that they had migraine headache, and if they wanted a non-medical approach to try to treat them, or if they were not having success with a medical approach, those would be two of the reasons to consider the Daith procedure.
I would just say for anybody who has contemplated getting it done, you know, has kind of been on the fence about it, that it really does work.
Daith piercing is not a confirmed cure, but it has worked for many.
For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Christian Groff. All right, let's do this thing.
Puppetry is a unique form of performance that isn't thought of anymore. But at the Lancaster Marionette Theater, it's a hidden gem.
Oh, it seemed like the storms weren't stopping. Now our streets have potholes popping.
Here at the Lancaster Marionette Theater, formerly known as the Hole in the Wall Puppet Theater, handmade puppets depict children's stories in enchanting ways. I chatted with artistic director Robert Brock about what inspired him to get into puppetry.
I was 2 years old, and my father made my sister this puppet stage. It said Ann's Playhouse on it, and my sister accused me of stealing her puppet theater. So that was sort of the start, but I always loved theater and majored in musical theater. I did a lot of work in the technical end of theater, the costumes, hair, props, makeup, so all those things joined together for the Marionette Theater.
Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way.
The puppeteer explains how technology affects his responsibilities in the theater.
The special effect for me is it's all one man, and I operate the lights, the sound, the marionettes voice them all. So I'm as low tech as you can get, except it is off my MacBook Pro, the script and the music, and I edit everything digitally. But the art form itself is still pretty low tech.
You get an egg, you get an egg, you get an egg. No cars here, no eggs either. Exactly.
Brock details how the art of puppetry is different in different parts of the world.
They think it's just for children. That's mainly in this country. When television first started, there was a lot of puppets, good puppets on, but they were like children's shows. So Americans sort of think it's got to be for children, where if you're in Europe or Asia, it's primarily adult unless it's specified for children.
A longtime friend and helper of Brock's also describes his love for puppetry, as well as his involvement in the theater.
I've really enjoyed coming to this Marionette Theater, and when I retired, I thought, well, one more thing that I can help with is to help in some way. I like the Sherlock Holmes, just the background and the fact that he takes 50 to 60 hours to make each puppet, and it's just really all handmade, and it's just really, the detail to it is really great.
Oh, I can't believe it's already Easter. What do you mean, Easter? It doesn't feel like Easter. It certainly does not feel like Easter.
The men give their input on how puppetry will stand the test of time in the theater.
The fact that it's being done in 2017, it's being done live, it's being done in a 19th century building, which goes back to the 18th century. The fact that John Durang, America's first-born actor, dancer, and puppeteer, was born very close to where we are. I think all that is all part of it.
I don't see it being taken over by other things. I think live performance of any kind really needs to survive.
I also got some opinions on the show from both new and past audience members.
Entertaining. It was good. I enjoyed it, and the kids liked it. Very creative, and the marionettes were amazing. And yeah, awesome stage play.
I definitely think it's unique, and it's really important because, I mean, yeah, there aren't a lot left anymore, but it's definitely something we should keep doing and have preserved and stuff.
We are part of the 21st century, and we sell tickets online, and you can get them through lmt.yapsody.com.
As you can see, the Lancaster Marionette Theater has plenty of entertainment for both adults and children alike. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Abby Bittner.
Down came the rain and washed the spider out.
As social media grows, so does the issues of a person's internet identity. Recently, students have started following the trend of having more than one account on a particular app called Instagram.
Social media is constantly expanding. With so many websites, platforms, and apps at the community's fingertips, a person's internet identity is becoming a major part of how they represent themselves.
According to an online study, the year 2017 will have 48.2 million teens and young adults log on to Instagram, an app that allows you to share, like, and comment on pictures. But recently, it has become popular, especially for students, to have more than one account.
These second, or fake Instagram accounts are known as Finstas. To the teen generations, Finstas are a great way to post and comment in ways they would not normally.
Some people only post like actual pictures, like pictures of like a homecoming night or something on their Insta. And so they will post like more relaxed stuff on their Finsta. But there's a lot of memes, there's a lot of people posting about food, there's a lot of people posting about their day.
You can go on your Finsta and you can, just talk about your day. You can just say something that's been bothering you.
But to many adults, a Finsta is an unnecessary disruption for teens to have, especially in the school setting.
People use Finstas to kind of do whatever they want to do in some kind of perceived anonymity. And I think it's important that you be authentic. So why do you need two different accounts? Why not just have your one account and be authentic on that one account and be who you are and be proud of that.
While teens find value in secondary accounts to post on, they don't deny the ability for a Finsta to be a problem.
I think that there are definitely people that use Finstas to kind of bully other people. Sometimes there's some hate, like so-and-so is a beep, or I beeping hate so-and-so, or I beeping hate this, A lot of bad words.
Finstas can be inappropriate because there's no restriction as to what you can post. I mean, you can report Finsta posts, but I mean, you can post whatever you want.
I feel like some people start arguments and they just talk about it with their followers instead of going up to the person and kind of confront them about it.
In fact, the teens themselves admitted just how bad Finstas could get.
I would say about half of them can just be digs at people, or just people not being kind to one another.
Probably 1 out of every 3 pictures. It's something negative usually. And if it's talking about accounts, probably 1 every 5.
But what's even more of a concern is the misconception teens have related to Finsta accounts even if they are registered as private.
People only let other people follow it, so not everyone can see exactly what they're posting. So it's they have an Instagram account for their public life, which would be their main, and then for their more private life, which would be their Finsta.
You can say whatever you want, and there's nothing that the staff or faculty in the school can really do about it, because it is your personal account. It is, outside of school. If you're talking about it outside of school, there's nothing they can really do.
But only letting certain people follow an account does not prevent the effects of a post, nor does it stop administrative involvement.
Students know who the Finsta account belongs to. They'll be able to say, oh, I know who that is, or I think I know who that is. So again, that false idea of you're anonymous, you're not really ever anonymous online. And so there's a very blurred line between social media and education these days. A lot of students think, oh, well, happened outside of school. I took that picture at my friend's house on the weekend. But if it comes into school and has some sort of educational impact or gets in the way of somebody's ability to learn or be successful here, then the school's going to get involved, because we want to make sure every student is successful, students feel comfortable here, and regardless of where you say things or how you say things or on what platform, you're still going to be responsible for those things. There's still going to potentially be consequences for those things.
Finstas may be a new and exciting opportunity to post on Instagram, but students and teens need to be mindful of what they post, even if it's not on a regular account. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Joel Pletcher.
A third-grade teacher from Centerville Elementary School was one of 3 recipients to win a national award in the Horizon organization, a summer program that helps low-income students from the city.
Kristen. Share. Good. Share. So we have 1,500.
The Horizons program at Lancaster Country Day School utilizes time over the summer to help low-income students maintain their knowledge outside of the classroom. Centerville Elementary School's Mrs. Annie Sear was recognized for her hard work and dedication to the program.
Oh, it was a huge honor. I last year went for the first time to the National Horizons Conference, and I
watched those 3 award winners and thought, there's no way that could ever be me. And to find out that I had won was shocking, to say the least. And then being able to go to the conference and meeting with other Horizons teachers and getting that honor was huge.
The Lynn McNaught Award is named after the educator who started the program. Mrs. Sear had the incentive of learning from Mrs. McNaught at the Horizons Conference.
She just has this bright spark for education and really inspired me, even just talking, for an hour or two to each other. So to have her name on this award, I think brings even more power to it because she's been such a force for Horizons.
Horizons director Meg Reed was helped greatly by Mrs. Sear's involvement in the program.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind was sort of something that she did for me personally. The very first year that we had the program, I had a broken leg. All these things that I had been planning and expecting to be able to do, I had to ask her to do just because I had been cast on my leg. And so she really stepped up. I mean, she did everything from driving the vans that we used to pick up the kids to getting in the water and swimming with them as they were learning. More than just being an outstanding teacher, which she clearly is, she's gone above and beyond and she's done things to help the success of the program.
Mrs. Sear's charisma is one of many reasons why she was a deserving recipient of the award.
She's incredibly patient, which she needs a lot of the time when she's with students that maybe are a little more difficult, a little more challenging. A lot of our students come to us with a lot of different issues in their home lives, and she's incredible at overcoming those things and really getting through to those individual kids. She's incredibly caring, she's energetic.
Slide to the left, slide to the right.
Creative and incredibly hardworking, and she comes every day ready to go. So she's really has been the perfect fit for our program, and it was probably the best thing I ever did was to hire her that first year because she's really made it what it is.
Through the Horizons program, Mrs. Sear did more than teach. She also learned.
My experiences with Horizons, I've been able to take them back into my Hempfield classroom. And a lot of the things that I've learned from students, so I get to practice with students, have impacted my teaching here. So although it's 2 completely different settings, it's really helped me become a better teacher overall.
With teachers like Mrs. Annie Sear serving our community beyond the classroom, students of the Lancaster area will be making great strides on the same level. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Quentin Hernandez.
That's it for this school year. Be sure to stay tuned through the summer to see episodes like this and more. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Jack Harrison.